Yo, what up? It's your boy. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Omega Classic Records TV is the page and the name. Thanks for tuning in. So, stuff's getting thicker when it comes to the Alex Pretti situation. And apparently it looks like today we've been shown some new footage about Alex Pretti attending not a march, but a protest, roughly a little over a week ago, maybe 10 days ago. And they went and DHS and federal government agencies went and dug this footage up, and it shows him upset at one of the protests once again, and he kicks a DHS vehicle, knocks the tail light out, and he's kind of talking shit to him and whatnot. So I guess they're pulling this footage to further justify him being shot. I guess I don't know why they went and did some due diligence for this, when there's so many other things that they are not doing due diligence for. But let's take a look at this video.
President Trump suggested the Congresswoman did it to herself. ABC's Matt Rivers leading us off tonight from Minneapolis.
Tonight, new video appearing to show Minneapolis ICU nurse Alex Pretti in a struggle with federal agents 11 days before he was shot and killed. You see a man who appears to be Pretti and others on the scene shouting at agents who had been blocking an intersection on January 13th. A man who looks like Pretti seen kicking a federal vehicle before agents got out, pushed him, and tackled him to the ground. Agents then firing gas into the crowd. But the agents got up, and the man appearing to be Pretti walked away, a gun visible on his waistband. We don't know what happened before this altercation. DHS is reviewing this video. And tonight, sources tell ABC News the two federal officers who shot Alex Pretti over the weekend have been placed on paid administrative leave. A Customs and Border Protection spokesperson telling ABC News the two officers have been on leave since the shooting Saturday. But that directly contradicts comments made by Border Patrol Commander Greg Bavino over the weekend.
All agents that were involved in that scene are working, not in Minneapolis, but in other locations. That's for their safety.
We asked DHS about the discrepancy. Are they on administrative leave or are they working elsewhere? And we have not heard back. According to a preliminary DHS report sent to Congress, one of the federal officers involved is a Border Patrol agent and the other is a Customs and Border Protection officer. That report says DHS conducted a preliminary review of body-worn camera footage. And it's the first time the agency has acknowledged critical facts, including that two agents fired guns during the shooting. The DHS timeline says while agents attempted to take Pretti into custody, a struggle ensued, and a Border Patrol agent yelled, "He's got a gun," multiple times. 10 shots were fired in just seconds. Nowhere in the DHS report to Congress does it say that Pretti ever brandished a weapon or even attempted to reach for his gun, which he was legally allowed to carry. The report also never mentions that Pretti was disarmed before he was shot, as video appears to show. Stella Carlson speaking out to CNN. She was the woman in the pink jacket just feet away from Pretti when he was killed.
Did I think I was going to be filming a murder? No. An assassination? No. I mean, I watched him die. I remember him arching his back and his head rolling back, and it was so fast moving, but not for me. Like, when they left, when they fled, which now I see, that after the shooting, they decided to just scatter and save themselves.
Today, Governor Tim Walz making an unannounced visit to the growing memorial for Alex Pretti at the spot he was killed after speaking to President Trump. I spoke to Walz just as he arrived.
And do you believe that there will be a shift in tone here from the administration after your conversation with the president here on the streets?
I'm not so interested in a shift of tone. We just need them out of here, and we need accountability for what's happened.
And tonight, growing bipartisan calls for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to resign after millions of Americans saw those eyewitness videos showing that Alex Pretti never brandished or pulled out his gun before he was killed. This is what Secretary Noem said just hours after the fatal shooting.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
That ICU nurse's family called the administration's response a lie. And tonight, Republican Senators Lisa Murkowski and Tom Tillis joining Democrats demanding Noem step down.
She's a complete failure on disaster response. She clearly doesn't know how to manage. She's never managed a large organization, and she's failing at every possible measure of the job.
And after President Trump signaled he would de-escalate operations here, tensions remain high. Tonight, the FBI investigating after Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar also called for Secretary Noem to resign.
ICE cannot be reformed.
When Omar was attacked at a town hall in Minneapolis overnight.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
A man suddenly approaching her and using a syringe to spray her with an unknown substance. Security tackling the man, identified tonight as 55-year-old Anthony Kazmierzak. The congresswoman, who has been widely criticized by the president and the administration, finishing her speech.
Here's the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand. We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw.
After the attack on Omar at that town hall, our Rachel Scott speaking with President Trump on the phone. The president suggesting she had herself sprayed in the attack, saying, quote, "I think she's a fraud. I really don't think about that. She probably had herself sprayed, knowing her." But there is no evidence of that. The president also telling Rachel he hadn't seen the video when they spoke last night. And tonight, violent clashes outside the Dilley Detention Center in Texas. Protesters demanding the release of 5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father. The preschoolers seen here standing in the Minnesota cold last week when ICE took them into custody. First the boy, they say, to care for him, and then arresting the father, sending both of them more than 1,300 miles south to this Texas detention center. Congressman Joaquin Castro visiting Liam and his father today, posting this image, the little boy sleeping in his father's arms. A federal judge now blocking their deportation as their legal battle plays out.
And David, Border Czar Tom Homan, now overseeing federal operations here in Minneapolis, expected to hold his first press conference here tomorrow morning. David?
Matt Rivers live in Minneapolis for us tonight. Matt, thank you.
All right. So, ridiculous on top of ridiculousness and more. There's 3 different situations in there, but they all are kind of interconnected because they're all incidents that's taken place in Minnesota. But let's just start with Alex Pretti. Who cares that he was at a protest 11 days before? Who cares that he kicked the tail light out of one of their raggedy ass SUVs? Good for him. I'm glad that he did. Who cares? They're on the ground, wrangling and wrestling him to the ground and throwing him and ragdolling him around for nothing. All of that to not lock him up. It should be asked, like, what were you guys doing? You're wrangling and wrestling him down to the ground, all for him to get up and walk away. What the hell was that? Like, if there was no arrest or no kind of formalities made with, law enforcement detaining or detention, that's assault. The only time police are grabbing and wrangling and wrestling you like that is when you're resisting arrest, right? That's what the law says. You're resisting arrest. So then at that point, they have the green light to just take it, manhandle you. So why was he manhandled and didn't even go to jail? He gets to walk away, and yeah, because you guys are full of shit. Because you guys aren't proceeding by rule of law in any state that you're operating in. Minnesota happens to be the worst, but you're showing how you're not proceeding by rule of law. You're showing how you guys are scumbags in military militia gear with face masks. Okay, so ridiculous for them to even go get this clip. I don't know what they want to accomplish with this clip, but you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, well, he's obviously a violent, leftist and probably an Antifa group member, and This is proof because he came out 11 days ago with a gun and was trying to intimidate and massacre all of the ICE agents, even though he never pulls his gun in either incident, the 11 days tail light kicking incident or the incident where he's murdered in front of the whole block. But, nonetheless, this is supposed to prove or back up their cause for murdering him in the street. Okay. And then to the little boy, that's the I forgot his name, but that's the little kid with the bunny ears and Spider-Man backpack that they used as bait to get his father to come outside of the house. They were preparing to take the kid to school, and they used the kid as bait to get the father to come outside and lock him up, and it worked. Like, looks like they got the dad and got the kid and got them both in a detention center. You wake up one morning and you're taking your kid to school, and the next thing you know, getting hauled off to a Texas detention center for some bullshit. It's just frustrating. Excuse me for stumbling and tripping over my words. It's a rarity for me. Usually I have plenty of words, but in this situation, it's just frustrating. And then to the Congress, or to the not Congress, but to the so sorry, I don't have their names. Yeah, she's a congresswoman that was sprayed with some kind of, could have been piss. Who knows? This dude just walks up and sprays this lady. Man, we are in ridiculous times right now. I'm telling you. And you guys better do something about this to the government. Thing is, it is already too late for you. You've already committed the crimes. You've already infracted and broken laws. It's on tape. It's documented. Yeah, you got masked, but they'll find you. Just like they did the January 6th folks. They found them. But this time, this episode, Trump won't be back to rebound you. He won't be back to free you, to let you go, to give you pardons, so your dumb ass can go back to jail again. It's not happening. Why? Because Trump is going to be fighting from sitting in the cell next to you. He's going to be fighting to stay away from the jail that all you motherfuckers is going to be in. Period. So, disgusting, sad, pathetic. I don't care if Alex Pretti kicked out an entire windshield. It does not speak for what happened to him and how he was murdered in the middle of the street in front of the community that he was trying to help and protect. Period. Why are you digging up this video? And Kristi Noem, she's a trash bag. I watched the congressional hearings that just happened a couple of days ago, and she doesn't answer for anything. She lies about anything that she does answer for, and she does a lot of bush beating. She's a bushwhacker, So, but what do you expect? These guys are ultimately Trump's puppets, and he's the master puppeteer. He's the puppet master. So, prayers to the Pretti family, and hopefully something turns around with the little boy and his father. My little guy, bunny ears and Spider-Man backpack. I hope they get, their way to come on back home, and that shit gets worked out. And to the congresswoman that was sprayed, kudos to you for continuing and finishing your speech and having some powerful stuff to say. We're in a point in time right now where you need to be just speaking as powerful as you can. You need to be letting people in your community know, how you feel, and working together with those people in the community. If you're sitting back and you're not doing anything, you're a part of the problem, plain and simple. I don't care who you are. Everybody today has a platform. Doesn't matter if you got 5 followers, 500 or 5,000 or 15,000. You got people to talk to. All right? spark one mind. That's all you got to do. And continue to fight. Otherwise, you might see yourself getting shot down in the street like a dog. You want to be Alex Pretti? Okay. Yo, thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Omega Classic Records TV is the page and the name. All right. We'll be back with another one as soon as we can. You know how we roll. All right. But keep your head up, keep your shoulders back, and stay, with your hands together, at prayer. Pray every day. All right. And when you can speak. All right. Instead of wasting time on social media or wasting time in life, period. Because the world needs help.